Good morning, everyone. I hope you guys are all having a blessed week. Mine's going really good. Hey, are any of you guys hard-headed? And by hard-headed, I mean, does it take you like 2 or 3 times before you actually get something through your thick skull? Because I'm like that, and that's what I wanted to talk about here for just a minute. Psalms 119:71, this is what it says. It is good for me that I have been afflicted, that I might learn thy statutes. So people, here are a few things that I had to learn the hard way. Number 1, the trials in life, the lessons that God wants you to learn. These lessons are going to keep coming time and time again until you learn how to pass them. The lessons are going to keep coming until you can handle them in a godly way. And then once you handle them in a godly way, the lessons will quit coming. So listen, number 1, and this is something that took me a while, and that's when you're driving. You know, when you're driving, there's always a bunch of turkeys on the road with you. People that cut you off, people that wait for the last minute to get over, people that are going, 50 miles an hour in the fast lane. But listen, if you just ignore these people, just drive your own thing, slow down, let them in, things like that, they'll happen less often. And I'm going to explain that in just a minute. People who are rude. When you just run into people that are rude and it just makes your blood boil, you just want to punch them right in the nose. Those kind of people. Well, listen, if you don't respond in an angry way, if you respond in love, even when they're being rude, those things will happen less often. When things break, around your house, when things break. Here's a good one. Last Christmas morning, my wife is getting ready to, stuff the turkey, and she's in the kitchen getting ready to do all these things, and all of a sudden she tells me that the sink is backed up. So Christmas morning, I have to get under the sink, undo all the pipes, and what's the pipe full of? Bacon grease, which she had poured bacon grease down the sink. But you know what? I didn't say a word. I just handled it. I got everything fixed, got the kitchen put back together so she could continue on. But I mean, inside I was just going, ugh! But on the outside, I didn't show it. So listen. What about when everything just goes wrong? When everything just goes wrong and you can't catch a break for any reason. People, that's when you turn it over to God, you let Him handle it, and you thank Him for all the good things in life. Because things will always smooth out and there's always calmer days ahead. Now, this is what I want you to learn from these 4 examples that I gave you. People, listen. When you're out driving and somebody cuts you off, the demonic host, they're working both sides. They're in the car with the guy that they're making him pull in front of you, and they're inside of you making you want to kill him. The demonic host is always working both sides. When someone's extremely rude and mean, it's a demonic entity that's influencing them, making them do that. And there's another demonic being whispering in your ear to tell them off. The demonic host is working both sides. And they're doing it so they can harm you. Now listen, if you start passing these tests, if you start reacting in love, letting people in, just be calm, be peaceful. If you start doing that, these trials and tribulations are going to come less and less often because you know how to handle it. Listen, the demonic host is not going to keep coming at you with things that you pass. When you react in love, they're not going to waste their time. They're not going to bring a bunch of arrogant people to you if they know you're going to react in love. Because number 1, that's a witness to the arrogant person. So if you learn to pass these tests, they will come a whole lot less often. So anyway, I just wanted to give you that tidbit. Now here's something I learned the other day that I have to learn the hard way. I got to admit it. But here's a lesson that I just learned the other day, and I just had to sit back and say, okay, I'm not going to do that anymore. I have a nasty habit. I keep touching my mic. I have a nasty habit of giving money to panhandlers. I mean, I always do it. If I'm going to go to the store, I'll put like maybe, 2 5s in my pocket that I can give to a homeless person. Well, the other day I was watching this video, and there's this poor grandma, and she was out, they were interviewing her, and she was saying that, she's living on the streets in a tent, she has grandkids, and I guess her family's pretty much disowned her, but she goes out and she earns $15 a day picking up aluminum cans and plastic bottles. 15 bucks a day. And they said, well, what do you do with that money? Are you saving it? She goes, no, I'll take $5 and I'll go buy a sandwich, or I'll buy some kind of food with $5, and the other $10 goes to fentanyl. And when I saw that, I just thought, you know what? That's what's happening to me. Every time I give money to a panhandler, probably 90% of the time it goes to get drugs. So I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to give my money to organizations that actually feed the poor, but I'm not giving out money anymore to panhandlers because they only use it for drugs. At least most of them do. So anyway, guys, listen, pass those tests. When you start passing these tests, your life's going to go a whole lot smoother, and the tests will come a whole lot less often. Because remember, the demonic host is playing both sides. All right, you guys have a blessed day. Heaven or hell, just remember, once you take your last breath, it's a done deal.